Hey and welcome back. Welcome back to the Academy of Witchwood. My name is Guilford and today we're going to dive right into occultism. You see, I do have my storage set up in here with sophisticated storage, which is all fine and dandy. I upgraded to iron chests so that I can store a little bit more. But I really hate sorting my storage all the time, and I would like this to, well, not be an issue at all. So my plan for today is to create a dimensional storage actuator. This is the one-size-fits-all solution for storage from occultism, and I really want to try out getting this in today's episode. For that, we need to get a little bit deeper into occultism. We need to get through the whole getting started area, and you can see the magical storage is actually one point of that. But we do need more chalks. To be exact, for the storage actuator, we need to get through the ritual Strigger's Higher Binding, and for that we need the white chalk, the light grey chalk, the yellow chalk, the purple chalk, and the lime chalk. You can always see which rituals need which chalk by just taking a look where they are. So this is what we need to, well, get through today. And I already marked all of those in here. So for the white chalk, we need chalk dust base, which is pretty much burned other rock or burned other stone, as well as some otherworld ashes, which we get by burning otherworld logs, or throwing them into the spirit fire. For the light grey chalk, we need crushed calcite as well as silver dust and iron dust, which means we need to summon a crusher foliate. For the yellow, we need gold dust and glowstone. We pretty much have all of that ready by then. For the purple, we need crushed endstone, and as I don't want to get into the end, we will use the possessed endermite ritual to get some endstone that way. For the impure light chalk, we need research fragment dust and emerald dust as well as slime balls. For the research fragment dust, we need bottles of enchanting, which means we will summon a possessed witch to, well, get those. And to substitute the slime balls, we will use runic sap balls. And I think I will start actually with that because that's really easy and really useful. If you find rune wood somewhere out there, you will also find some exposed rune wood. And if I just place those down, you can see they have these really cool textures. And if I go ahead and use my strip spell on those, you can see these rune wood sap elements. And if we right click those with the glass bottle, we collect ourselves some runic sap, which is quite a decent meal, but we can also just put it in the crafting table to get a runic sap ball and our glass bottle back, so we can use it again. There is a chance of, and I didn't get the chance like once, to not use up these particles and you can collect multiple bottles with one log. Sadly, seemingly not for me. So I'll just break those. I do have some runic sap balls. And let's see. Oh, there we go. We got 2 out of this one. So it's not an infinite source, but of course you can always grow more runic wood and get more of those exposed elements. Now, sap balls acquired, let's go on. The other thing we need is we need some demon dream seeds and demon dream fruits, as well as a flint and steel and a place to work with. Now I can go ahead and just plant a demon dream plant right here, grow it up, and harvest some demon dream fruits. These fruits will generally not be great because they cause unwellness or nausea, but you can see through the veil. What you also can do is to just throw one of these fruits on the ground, light it on fire, and you get a spirit fire. This fire, by the way, doesn't burn you. There's no harm in that. And it will burn forever without the use of netherrack or anything else. And we can use this to transform a few things. Now, let's get a whole bunch of these demon dreams stuff, as much as I have bone meal for, and turn pretty much all of those into demon dreams essence. We will always get more, so don't worry about the seeds. And these we will throw into the spirit fire to get some otherworld essence. Now we just need some oak saplings. Let's take these 4, as well as a whole lot of diorite or andesite. And I think I'm going with andesite because I like the whitish colors more than the dark ones. Now, we can also turn like 4 stacks of diorite. We do have enough of those. And a whole bunch of lilac, which I just chose because we can bone meal those and get ourselves some other flowers. So, by just tossing all of those in, we get the other types. So, like I said, the other flowers, which can, by the way, be used to triple any dye that we have. Quite useful if you ask me, because we will need some dye later on. The other stones and other rocks we will need for all the crafting recipes, and pretty much all of them exist in the light and the dark form. So, like I said, we will mostly use the light ones probably. And the oak saplings, if we just grow some of those, I'll leave a bit of place here. We will see in just a second. They look like totally normal oaks. That is until you eat one of the otherworld essences. Because now everything turns, well, a little bit blurry. I really don't like that view. But you can see now we have otherworld leaves here. And below that we have otherworld logs. So if I break those, nothing happens, because seemingly you can't break them with magic and be fine. But if we take a normal axe, I think we should get some otherworld logs. You need to be really careful because as we have the tree feller mod in here, it really doesn't show you really what you're harvesting. But as you can see, we now have some otherworld logs here, which we can use. And the third eye effect will run out quite shortly, and we will just see the normal world as they are. You can turn, or you can get really otherworld saplings, which you can get from the otherworld sapling trader. And those can be harvested without the use of this third eye effect. But For the start, well, it's something you need. And you need an axe. Just remember that. With 3 burnt otherstone and 3 otherstone ashes, we can get our first chalk, which is an impure white chalk. Now we need to go ahead, toss the impure chalk into the spirit fire, and get the white chalk. And we can pretty much cross this one off our list and continue on. To summon a foliate crusher, we need to create the first circle, the avius circle. And, well, we can just use this little eye here, and I can place it down somewhere over here. We need quite a bit of space for the later circles, but I don't want to worry about that too much right now. Just getting rid of a little bit of grass here. And as you can see, we need white chalk, some candles, and this is actually the reason why I got the candles from the school at the very beginning. And we need an golden ritual bowl. So the chalk, you can just right click everywhere here. Seemingly I right clicked at the middle, and you can just fill all of this as shown to create the first circle. Now we just need the golden ritual bowl as well as some candles to get started. A golden ritual bowl is crafted with a sacrificial bowl and 8 gold, but we also need a bunch of sacrificial bowls, and therefore it's good to have a bit of other stone on hand because we need quite a few of those. For these circles, it's irrelevant what kind of candles you use. There's a few options, but it has to be some kind of candle. And with placing a golden ritual bowl in the middle, we completed the avius circle. Now if we take a look at the crusher summoning ritual here, we need to have ritual bowls with iron, gold, copper and silver ingots in them, and that summons a foliate crusher. And we need a book of binding foliate, which is quite simply a book of binding empty with 4 blue dye, or a taboo book, an awakened feather, purified ink and some blue dye. And this is where the otherworld flowers come into play, because we can just multiply the dye we get. So we don't need to use up all the lapis. And then I just got myself a few of these special things. We can create a few books of binding foliate. Let's start with one. Let's see how many we need. And to get a real bound book out of this, you just need to craft it with your Dictionary of Spirits to get one that has a name. This one, for example, is Yathorthan, which will be our crusher. At least the first one. And now to place those things down, we need more sacrificial bowls. So you can place them anywhere, I think in a 5-block radius around the golden bowl. I typically go for a relatively safe setup here. And then you can just place the ingredients into those. And last but not least, place the bound book in the middle, and you will see flames going off at one of the sacrificial bowls. This takes a minute, like actually a minute, to consume all of these items and then finishing the ritual to summon a crusher. And we need the crusher for all the next steps. We needed to crush down silver, iron, as well as calcite. We needed to crush down gold. We need to crush it. We needed to crush down obsidian as well as endstone, and we need to crush down emeralds. So you will not get anywhere without summoning this first crusher. And while this is going, I already want to set up the Hadron's Lure, which is the ritual we need to summon the possessed endermite as well as the possessed witch. To complete this ritual of the Hadron's Lure, we need some yellow chalk. So that's where we need the second. Here we have our little friend that will help us get there. So if I throw him some gold, he will readily pick that up and does its job. You can always shift right click him to see that he is indeed a slow crusher. He has 2 gold in its inventory and he's working on crushing one of those down into, well, 2 gold dust. So these guys will take whatever they get and, well, crush it down. Now, that takes a while because really he's a slow crusher, but at some point we will get some gold dust back. And we can do the same for the raw silver, for the raw iron, the calcite, as well as the obsidian, which we need for the others. And the only thing we need other than that is the endstone, which we can get from the possessed endermite. So with the gold acquired, like before, we just need to toss in the yellow chalk or the impure yellow chalk into the spirit fire. We get the yellow chalk and we can complete this ritual as well. Now to summon actually the possessed endermite, put in the items and summon a possessed endermite when I throw in an egg. And here we go. You can see the flames are going. It will not take too long and, well, I do have my staff ready. As soon as the endermite spawns, I can just kill it. Later on we will set up a Drigme farm using all of these possessed entities because you can really nicely farm them for all eternity. And here we go. Dropping exactly 1 endstone. Which is all that we need because with 1 endstone we can get 1 endstone dust. And with all the crushed elements, we can get ourselves an impure light gray chalk and an impure purple chalk. The only thing that we're missing is the lime, and we need to, well, set up Asvia's spectral compulsion for that one. And this one I'm going to set up over here. We don't have enough candles, so let me get those real quick from somewhere. I found myself some tallow and some strings, and do ignore the butcher knife here, it has nothing to do with all of this. And with that I do have enough candles for this ritual. I actually do like these large candles a lot more than the small ones. Now again we need a golden sacrificial bowl and a few normal ones, and now we have a successful created Asvia's spectral compulsion. Now with that one we are able to create research fragment dust. We just need 2 bottles of enchanting and an emerald dust. This one is the easy part, the bottles of enchanting. Sadly I didn't find any yet, and I also don't think that I have any way of creating them currently wait, you can use refined brilliance. And refined brilliance you can get out of raw brilliance. That's actually a lot easier because raw brilliance I have. And we can totally skip the witch summoning. That makes things a lot easier. And here we got our impure lime chalk. Taking a look at the dictionary of spirits, we now have the first level of circles. So avias, hadrons, and esvias. And we can upgrade them to the Ophix Calling, Egan's Enthrallment, and Trigger's Higher Binding, which are the genie levels of summoning. As you can see here in the overview, we need a few more candles and we need a few skeleton skulls to get there. It actually says here, skeleton skulls obtained here. There's a possessed summoning for skeletons, which we, well, can just run a few times. It just costs 4 bones and a foliate book, and all of them will drop at least 1 skeleton skull. I'll see you in just a second. For you, for me it might take a little longer, and let's see what we can do. Or you have always the option to just stumble upon a room full of skeleton skulls. I'm here in the catacomb because I was trying to find a skeleton spawner, and well, yeah, no skeleton spawner so far, but I think this might be enough. So let me set up these rituals. And with that, we have all of our rituals upgraded to the 2nd tier. Now we can actually go ahead and use genie elements. For the storage actuator base, it's still a foliate. We don't need anything special here, it's just a very small ritual. But for the dimensional crystal matrix, we need a book of binding genie, 3 blocks of quartz and an ender pearl to get the dimensional crystal matrix. So let me get these things together, and we just need this ritual over here. I just upgraded the other 2 as well because, well, with all the skulls together, it wasn't really an issue. So let's craft ourselves the dimensional storage actuator. 2 copper, 1 gold, and the other stone pedestal with the book of foliate will give us the actuator base. It will just take 1 second and then we can go on. In the meantime, I can already craft 3 blocks of quartz. I do have an ender pearl here, and I do have a book of genie for the actuator matrix. And in just a second, we can craft the matrix and start moving our storage over, which is a moment I actually waited for quite a while. But, well, it takes some time to get into occultism. It's good to have a little bit of resources on hand and, well, not set all of this up in an area where you don't want to stay. So it had to wait for a moment. Now we can combine the base with the matrix, get ourselves the dimensional storage actuator, place it down, and this is how it looks like. Now you can just open this up and you can see there is space for 256,000 items of a total of 128 types. How to increase this limit of 128 types of items, because we already have a lot more, and set this up actually for us to use, we will take a look at this in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me setting all of this up. And next time, we will go into the nether again and maybe also set a few other things up. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.